to the Dirty Cleats podcast. Today we will be talking about the NFL schedule that was released this past week on May 15th. A lot of exciting games. We're very excited for the upcoming season, even though it's a few months away. Tim, what were some of your takeaways from the schedule?
I felt bad for the Steelers. Really felt bad for Pittsburgh. You look at their last 6 to 8 games, dude, they might lose them all. They really could lose. They got the Browns twice, the Bengals twice, the Ravens twice. I think they got Philadelphia, Kansas City. It's just like their last 8 games are atrocious for them. I feel bad for them. I don't really ever feel bad for Pittsburgh, but man, they got a hard way to go.
I mean, Baltimore also has a pretty tough schedule. Actually, Cleveland, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh all three of them have, by the winning percentage of the teams from last year to this year, have the 1, 2, and 3 toughest schedules in the league, actually.
And then you got Cincinnati, who's getting Burrow healthy and getting some big boys up front. I'll tell you right now, I will say that the Bengals will go as far as that contract with T. Higgins will take them. They need to sign the guy. They need to pay the man. He's been injured, but everybody gets injured, and Burrow's got injured. I mean, the guy is a tall, big receiver that complements Chase, and they like each other. They're friends. It'd be like, you getting the contract, and me just sitting there watching you get the contract. It's got to be tough on the guy.
Yeah, I got you. But they also drafted that third-round rookie wide receiver, Burton. He's supposed to be really good.
But if you could have all 3 of them on the field at the same time, man, and even Trenton Irwin and then those tight ends that they got, Joe Burrow could stand back there and pick his poison.
As long as he stays healthy, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Yeah,
that's the big thing in the NFL, man. It doesn't matter who you are, you got to stay healthy.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, I'm looking at this graphic that I have here on the side. I'm going to try to post it when I edit our video. But it looks like they got the Bengals middle of the pack as far as strength of schedule. Like, the teams that they're playing have a combined 502 percentage winning record. So that's about 50%.
Right. Those 4 or 5 games at the beginning of the year for the Bengals are what they need, man, because I think they got Baltimore in there somewhere, but they got Carolina, Washington, New England. Those guys, this should beat every one of them. I
think Washington's going to be tougher than everybody thinks so.
I agree with that. I don't think they're going to be tough enough to beat Cincinnati on Monday Night Football, though. I don't think that'll happen.
They're not. Wait a minute. Are they playing Washington?
It's Monday. I think that's Washington. I think it's week 3, I believe.
No, I think it's the Giants on Sunday Night Football, right?
No, I think. Let me look. I'm pretty sure they got Washington Commanders on Monday Night Football in Cincinnati. I'll pull it up.
Gotcha.
I'm almost positive. But yeah, you're right about the Giants. They play the Giants in New York on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just run it down real quick. Because there's 4 or 5 games Cincinnati's for this time. Here's the thing. They got New England at home on their opener. Then they go to Kansas City, which they do well there. And then they got Washington at home, 8:15, which is a Monday Night Football game.
Oh, okay.
And then they go to Carolina where there'll be no fans. It'll be like COVID all over again. Then they got the Ravens, but it's at home. And then they're at the Giants. So they realistically could actually go all the way to, how many games is that? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the 7th game, they're at Cleveland where they really realistically could probably lose. They could be 6-0.
They could be.
Or 5-1. With no problem at all, hardly. Definitely if you take your losses to Kansas City and Baltimore, they're still 4-2.
Yeah.
That's all they've ever needed is to get right in the door because the Bengals pick up at the end of the year,
They usually do if they can stay healthy. That's the thing.
That's the thing. And then you guys, your Eagles come in down there on, where are they? Right? Okay. They're right before Halloween, like the 4:25 on October 27th. The Eagles come to the Bengals. That's going to be a great game. That's the best time to watch football, too, right? Halloween.
I agree.
I think me and you, we used to play. We'd go to Dayton and Bellevue, and the leaves would be changing colors. The mud would get softer. It was just time to hit the guys on the other side. And when we played Bellevue and Dayton, you knew we were going to win.
Yeah, I think so. Bellevue always had a tough team, though. Dayton.
They did. Dayton, not so much.
Yeah. But, So, yeah, it's I'm looking at the Eagles' schedule too. It's just they got a pretty good schedule this year too. They
But
open up
then,
a
the Eagles got Giants, Commanders, and Cowboys. So, in all honesty, if they don't win their division, they have their own self to blame.
well. I think with their schedule, the toughest part that I noticed is at the very end of the year when they do play Washington. The last 3 games they play in the season is the Commanders, the Cowboys, and then the Giants. That could be some tough sledding there. Before that, though, they play Pittsburgh, then they got Carolina, then Baltimore, then the Rams, then Washington,
Yeah.
Dallas, Jacksonville, then Cincinnati. I mean, I think it's a pretty decent schedule. I mean, I think it's a fairly easier schedule.
Not to interrupt, but Darren Waller, he plays for the Giants, the tight end, the guy you like. Is he still playing?
I heard he's going to retire.
That's what I've heard too. Because if he retires, you might as well just put the Giants in the #1 draft pick next year. They're going to be terrible.
Not necessarily. They got that Neighbors at rookie wide receiver.
He can't do it all by himself. I mean, Daniel Jones is horrible.
If he has somebody to throw to, though, like Neighbors, I think it could be very helpful for them.
But their line is weak. Their defense is weak. Their defense is weak. If they lose their tight end, this is you say 1 or 1A option on the passing game, they're gone, dude. I really believe if the Giants lose him, that they will be picking first next year.
I don't know. He's just, even last year.
In that division, I'm not kudos to your Eagles here, but they would have to play Philadelphia twice, even Dallas twice, and Washington with Jaden Daniels. I don't see how New York will have a chance to win any games.
Well, I don't think they'll be picking first, but they'll be pretty close to the #1 pick, I think, maybe.
Who do you think would be #1? Who do you think's the worst team out there? And they could be the Bears again. They're going to be good. They're going to be contenders.
Well, you got to remember that the only reason the Bears had the #1 pick this year is because they traded with Carolina last year to get the #1 pick.
You think Carolina will be one again?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
I
think them or the Patriots could possibly be.
Yeah. I think the top 3 teams are inevitable to be Carolina, New England, and New York Giants. I mean, I don't see how it could be any other way.
I agree. Tennessee Titans could be up there too.
I don't know. I think Levis from UK is going to be a good player. He's got the weapons now.
Yeah, they got him some receivers to throw to.
And they got Tony Pollard. I'm sorry, dude. When you picked between Zeke and Tony Pollard and Dallas let Pollard walk and brought Zeke back in, how about them Cowboys? They've been winning a lot of games lately, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're terrible, man.
They don't have a running game. Oh, well, they signed Elliott.
Elliott.
But
watch out.
I tell you, I think Indianapolis is going to be good this year.
Yeah. I lost all disrespect for Ezekiel Elliott when he came to the draft for the half shirt. Because if he came to the draft for a half shirt again now, and as old as he is, people would have kicked him out, telling him to go to the bar and sit down and have a beer.
Yeah, I think he cursed himself with that.
He did. Yeah. What were you saying about Indianapolis?
I think Indianapolis is going to have a good year this year.
I do too, because they lost their top running back and their top quarterback.
Yeah,
that's half their offense.
Well, that was last year, but they also, they got both them guys back. They also drafted Adeline Mitchell, which should be a nice second receiver for
Michael Pittman
with Pittman and for Richardson.
Yeah,
so I think they'll do really good this year. But
I like the Colts.
Yeah,
and for anybody that's watching, if you're a Colts or a Bengals fan or you like football, Colts tickets are a little cheaper.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah. So let me tell the story a little bit before you jump in.
Yep.
All right. So right as the schedule release came out, I was looking at tickets to actually go watch the Eagles play Cincinnati, and I was all about going. I was real excited until I got on the site and saw how much tickets were. Nosebleed tickets just to go to that game were $165.
What site were you on?
Well, I went straight from NFL.com, and it takes you straight to the people that they deal with, which is Ticketmaster.
No, go to Vivid Seats.
I've tried that too. They're all about
Vivid Seats are cheaper.
They're a little cheaper, but not much. You're still talking over $100 and something just for a seat, though.
Got here. It might be about $100, but it ain't $160.
but my point is this: it's not even about
Mm-hmm.
if it's not 160. If it's still, it's.
It's still expensive.
I mean, it's getting ridiculous what ticket prices are these days, as far as the NFL is concerned. I made the decision not to buy tickets. I'm just going to watch the game at home. Now
Yeah.
I checked out other teams like the Colts and a few other teams that had their tickets up for sale for their home games, and the Colts were about $50 cheaper, even on the best teams that
Yeah,
they were
they
playing.
were. I saw
Now
that too.
I went
Well,
out.
okay. Right now, you have upper level seats for the Eagles game, 133 apiece
That's
on
still over
those
100.
seats.
That's 30. You
That's
save
still
30.
not much more than you would spend normally anyway.
That's expensive.
Yeah, but if you're the man that went in half and half, I mean, this is his wife, by the way. Somebody has to claim him. But if you
Yeah.
guys went in half, she pays her half, you pay your half, you guys go to the game. She gives us, you can chalk your birthday next year up to nothing. It's a card or something. You can go to the Eagles game.
Yeah, but
You want to go.
I've already seen them play the Colts, though, man. So I'm pretty happy. The only
You
other
haven't
one,
been to the Bengals stadium when they're playing the Bengals, dude.
eh, it's not to me. It's not worth the money. But I guess what my point is, like, it's to me, it's cheaper just to stay home. You don't have to deal with the crowds, any drunk people. The
Right.
food
Well, I
prices are
remember when
ridiculous.
you and I went to the Bengals game, like in the first year that the stadium opened.
Yeah,
Do you
we
remember that at all?
saw.
We
Did we
saw
go? Was
Miami
it Miami?
Dolphins,
Was it Miami
and
or
it
the
was
Jets? I thought it was the
it
Jets.
was Miami. It was Miami.
Okay.
We saw the Jets with Dana's husband Tony.
Okay, I gotcha.
But we
Okay.
saw the first year we went to the Miami Dolphin game, and you had your Eagles shirt on. There's a picture somewhere I have at home. I'd have to try to find it. But
Mm-hmm.
we watched that game. I think it was an afternoon game, and
Gotcha.
because it started getting dark when we were leaving. But
Mm.
that stadium's been up for like almost 25 years now, I think.
The 20-something years, I'll be one of the new
20
ones
something.
sooner or later. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I just think it's ridiculous what you have to pay for that stuff. And then to me, it's just as easy just to stay home and watch it. You can sit home and like order a lot of wings and just chill out and watch the game. You don't have to worry
You know
about
what, though? I got to give kudos to Cincinnati, though, because those two stadiums, the Reds and the Bengals, are in 20-plus-year-old stadiums, and the Reds is ranked like in the top 10 as best stadiums in baseball,
it. It's a
and the
nice
Bengals
stadium.
are still in good shape.
Yeah, but
It's not a bad, crappy stadium, you know?
no, not at all. We'll see. But getting on to our topics, we kind of discussed what before we recorded what we kind of want to talk about. So,
Yeah.
uh, hit me with your favorite international game.
I don't want to hit it with the one you want to hit it with because I know who you want to hit it with.
Well, do you want me?
Can we delete that little segment?
Well, do you want me to lead off with it then?
Yeah, you lead off. I know who you want to say. It's fine.
Okay. I know I'm an Eagles homer, but I still think the best international game this year because one, it's the first time I believe it's being played in Brazil.
Yep,
And
Sao Paulo, I think that's what it's called.
and it's on a Friday, which is besides the day after Thanksgiving game, is the first Friday game that's going to be played. I believe it's either in the evening or in the afternoon. But I think the matchup's also good. I mean, you got the Eagles, who's been doing very well the last few years, and you got a team that they're playing in the Green Bay Packers. That's an up and coming team with really good receivers and a young star in Jordan Love, and they also signed Josh Jacobs. To me, I think this is going to be a very good game. I still think the Eagles are probably going to pull it out, but I'm pretty excited in Week 1 to watch an international game on a Friday. But that's one of my favorite games for the season, actually. So, Tim, what's yours? What's your choice?
I'm looking right now, and I would probably say the Eagles game is probably going to be very fun to watch. If I can't pick the Eagles, and that's who you pick, I'm going to probably go with Jacksonville. Plays a lot of those games over there, so they get a couple games compared to everybody else. And
Yep.
I just feel like if I look at the schedule, I'm intrigued by the London game with the Bears and the Jags, but to tell you the truth, I think I'd pick the Giants and the Panthers in Germany because German fans watching football, they're intense, man.
Well, there's
They
also
probably
Sorry, go ahead.
Also, I was going to say they're probably going to want to have a beer fight in the backyard or something when they watch that game. I
Yeah,
want to see that.
that could be interesting. You never know with Germans and with people
But
from
the thing
Germany
I
that like to
want to
drink their
say,
beer.
honestly, about the international games and not all games in general, I'm getting really kind of perturbed with. I mean, I can get Peacock and I can pay for it, but I shouldn't have to pay to watch a football game. That's
Yeah.
stupid. I mean,
Well, I
back when
mean,
we were younger, you could watch whatever you wanted. I mean, yeah, you only had your little TV. You didn't even have a computer half the time. But now you're like paying to watch a game on Monday Night Football. That's dumb.
but here's the thing: even if you had to buy Peacock or something, you're still paying for. If you don't have those things and you watch football anyway, you're still paying for cable, which you have to watch the games on.
Well,
There's
right, but
no
if you only
point.
pay, well, I'm getting those. If you only had to pay for cable and not streaming, and providers have to do it on top of it, it's not a big deal. It's
Yeah,
just the fact that you pay for, like I guess it was like Buffalo had a game last year, and they put it on Amazon. So my cousin's husband had to pay for Amazon for one night to watch a football game. That's a little dumb to me.
that's unfortunately that's the state of affairs of
Well,
the
yeah, because
NFL.
it's all about the buck, and that's why they do it.
That's
I mean,
well, yeah, it's the same. It goes back to the same thing for the tickets that are really expensive.
but they don't do it as much in the NBA and Major League Baseball, and that's kind of why it gets a little
Give it
frustrating.
give it time because a lot of these networks that they have contracts with, like the
Yeah,
NBA
they'll do
has with
it. Yeah,
TNT, and then Major League Baseball. I don't even know who Major League Baseball has a contract with. I think
probably,
ESPN.
yeah, FS1 and all that stuff.
Yeah, give it time. Once those contracts are up, because I think the NBA one's up in a couple years, they'll all go. They'll all start going streaming.
I know that's going to happen. I'm not. I mean, and it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to get to the point where cable's probably not even going to exist anymore.
Well, in most people's homes, it doesn't. So
Yeah, I mean, I still have it. I have Spectrum,
yeah.
and
Well,
I
so
have. I got Peacock on there when I pay for it. I just if I want to watch wrestling or a football game for that matter, I'll
yeah.
pay for it and then I'll just cancel it and I'll pay for it again.
Well, that's what everybody does. So a lot of
Yeah,
people do, but like, yeah, we have cable also, and then we also have our streaming apps and stuff that we watch. So
it's just good to know. On the flip side, though, the games like so far at least, like games like Thanksgiving and traditional
Mhm.
games
Yeah.
haven't been really affected yet.
Well, here's the thing though. Like this year, okay, so I think the NFL has maybe I think 3 or 4 games on Christmas. Two
Yeah,
of
three or
those,
four of them. Yeah,
two of them are going to be on Netflix actually
are
this
they?
year.
Yeah,
Yeah. So there you go. There's another service you have to pay for. So
and it just gets kind of frustrating sometimes.
it does. It does. But I mean, either you try to watch it or you
Either
can't.
you watch it or you don't.
Yeah. So let's move on to the our favorite regular season games. Tim,
Of the year.
of the year. Yeah.
Hmm. Regular season game. You start because I got to think.
Okay. Well, I got mine written down. I actually have week 8, the Bears versus Commanders. Is
Why?
think about it. These are the two quarterbacks
Oh,
that
one and number
drafted.
one and number two.
One
Yeah.
and number 2. I think it's going to be a really good matchup. I think Washington's actually going to have a better offense than what people think. And then the Bears already are stacked with their offense, and they got a pretty decent defense. So I think it's going to be a pretty good game. So who knows? We'll see. It's my pick of one of the better games for the season. That's for sure. So
I'm trying to think of what game I really have been looking for. I don't know because I just look forward to all the games.
I know. I mean,
I
just
mean, when your team's down and out, man, like living in Colorado for 4 years, my second team would be Denver, and it's like, and they suck. Let's be honest, they suck.
gotcha.
So I don't even know who they play this year. They
Yeah.
lose all their games. I would say the game I'm looking forward to the most, honestly, and I don't have a problem with these two guys at all. I don't.
Yeah.
I just want to see every team kick the crap out of Kansas City. I mean, Mahomes and Kelsey, shut the F up, dude. You guys are good. You're good. And I give you props. I do not want to see them win the Super Bowl again this year. I do not care who else wins it. I do not want to see them win it again. I don't care. If they win it again this year, I may stop watching football. I'm just getting tired of it.
It eventually changes, though. I mean, you know how it goes, man. Like, even if they win this year, chances are next year they won't win
Well, I hope they
because
don't win this year.
I hope they don't either. But it'd be interesting to see what happens this year. I think there's more teams that are up and coming that can win the Super Bowl.
Well, I think they got a problem that they're not even really thinking of, or they're not letting us know that they're thinking of it. I think Rasheed Rice is going to affect their team.
I don't know. They do.
I don't care about Xavier Worthy or a new rookie that they got, or a new little toy that Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball to. But Rasheed Rice's problems off the field, when you look at him and you read about the guy, they just mount up and mount up and mount up. And you know, and even though Kansas City is probably trying to do everything they can for the guy, eventually there comes a point in time you got to cut him.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, look what happened to Henry Ruggs. I mean, that was horrible. He killed somebody, but yeah, I mean, but here's the thing though: they won it last year. They won it 2 years in a row without really.
What are their strengths of schedule? If you don't mind me asking.
Who's that? Kansas City?
Do you have that on there?
Yeah, actually, I do. I got the graphic up here. They got about the same strength of schedule as the Bengals do, so about middle of the pack.
That's not fair because I know they play Vegas, Denver, and Chargers. But how are they getting that weak of a schedule when they're the champs? That's not. Wow. It seems like it happens every year. I kind of feel like some people say, well, the NFL's fixed. I'm like, I don't know if you're right or if you're wrong about that. But when you see that graphic, you're like, how are they getting such a weak schedule, but they're the Super Bowl champions?
I have no idea.
Explain that. How's Pittsburgh getting a tougher schedule than they are?
Well, you also got to remember that with Pittsburgh and Cleveland and these guys up here up top, is they're playing a tougher division. Think about it. They play,
I got that. But why are they not throwing teams from other divisions like Philadelphia or who's another real good one, Detroit, or the ones that like the Kansas City doesn't play all the time? Throw them out on Kansas City. They're the champs. They can take them out, right?
I would assume so.
Get my point at all?
No, I understand what you're saying.
We already know their division is down because Denver's down.
Gotcha.
And I always want to say Oakland, but Vegas needs a quarterback. And until they can get that figured out, Vegas is going to be down. So they only have one team to compete with, that's the Chargers. And the Chargers and them, when they play each other, will split. So Chargers usually win at home and Kansas City wins at home. And then Kansas City doesn't play anybody for like 4 weeks. I don't like that, you know?
But here's
if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
But here's Kansas City's schedule. Okay, so they open up with Baltimore. That's a tough test. That could be a really good game.
And then the Bengals. So they could be 0-2. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Then they play Atlanta, who's sneaky good.
But I think not enough to beat Kansas City.
Oh, I know. I think they can. I really think they can.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I think with their offensive weaponry they got there, I think Atlanta could win. Their defense is suspect, but I think they could maybe pull it out. It might be a really close game, but okay. After that, they play the Chargers, which Chargers
will split with them when they play them.
Probably. Then they play.
They sweep Denver and they sweep Vegas.
Well, hold on, and then they play Monday night. After that, they play the Saints with Week 5, and then they got a bye week in Week 6.
Mm-hmm. Saints will crush them.
You think the Saints will crush it?
No, I think the Chiefs will get will crush the Saints.
I got you. But Week 7, when they come back from their bye, they play San Francisco. That could be a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean...
But then go forward, and then don't play anybody.
Well, after that, they play the Raiders. Then they play Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Then they play Denver.
Win.
Now, November 17th, the week before Thanksgiving, they play Buffalo. That could be a tough one.
No, they'll beat Buffalo. Buffalo's falling apart, dude.
Nah, but still, I mean, you got Josh Allen. You just never know. But then that Sunday after Thanksgiving, they play Carolina.
Yeah, come on, really?
Then they play Vegas again.
Another win.
Then they play the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. Possibly another win, but probably not. They'll lose once, probably to them.
And then they play Cleveland, which could be a tough game.
But it's Cleveland.
Yeah.
You see
But
what I'm getting at here? I mean, I would
well,
rather that Kansas City get a schedule where they're playing like Washington, like you mentioned earlier, where they had Jaden Daniels. I'd rather see them face him or Caleb Williams than the Browns.
yeah,
It always seems like the NFL favors Kansas City.
it might look like that maybe because they've won the Super Bowl the last few years and they've been really successful. Because I mean, if you look at it, the Patriots, people thought the same thing with the Patriots when they were in their dynasty time. So I mean,
Oh, so you're considering Kansas City a dynasty?
Well, they've won what 2 or 3 Super Bowls, right?
He has 3, and Kelsey has 3. Mahomes and Kelsey each have 3, so you consider that a dynasty.
Might as well. I mean, that's besides what the Patriots have done years ago, but like that's pretty close.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, okay, so let's just real quick review the 3 Super Bowls they won. Who did they beat?
Well, let's see. Who did they beat?
They beat 2019 going into 2020, right when COVID started. They beat the Niners. COVID year. Beginning of COVID year. Okay, who else did they beat? They beat your Eagles on a fluke call that should have never happened and was wrong. So that's number 2. And who else did they beat? They beat the Niners. The Niners who beat themselves the second time. Kansas City should have like 1 or 0 Super Bowls.
Hey man,
I'm not knocking them. I'm just being realistic.
Sometimes it's just how it shakes out, man. That's how games are played.
I'm getting too intense.
I could tell. Finishing out their schedule, they have Houston, which could give them. I think Houston's a pretty tough team. Would give them a run for their money.
Houston's getting better.
Yeah, on Christmas they play Pittsburgh, and then they close it out with Denver. So yeah.
But there's also one more thing, and I'll say this, and I'm going to drop it. Like with the schedule, when you get these teams, you also have now a 17-week schedule with 1 bye. So there's an odd number of home games and away games. The teams get 9 or 8. And a lot of times, if you notice, Kansas City gets the pancake games at home.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? I mean, for the last few years.
A little bit. But
I don't know. Go Eagles.
I'm for that. I'm always for that. But looking at the strength of schedule, I mean, I'm just looking at percentages wise and stuff. It looks like Atlanta has the easiest schedule, and then Cleveland has the toughest schedule.
Well, Atlanta's division is in disarray, man. If they don't win their division with Kirk Cousins and the premier Bijan Robinson, Atlanta's I don't know. They have to win that division.
Yeah.
I mean, must hand it to them.
I think so. I mean, I think maybe the Saints.
Carolina, one of the worst teams in the league, the Saints, the same way. So they have to compete with the Buccaneers. If they split with the Tampa Bay and win some games, they won the division.
Gotcha. So, okay, we've been kind of hammering on this whole schedule news and everything, but we got a few minutes here left. Let's wrap it up a little bit. I don't mean you talked about MVP candidates and rookies of the year. So why don't you give me your MVP candidate first?
Do you want something funny or you want something serious?
Whatever you want to do, man.
It's kind of both, okay? Well, we know Patrick Mahomes is the Kermit of the Frog of the NFL, right?
Okay.
I'm Patrick Mahomes. And then you got Travis Kelce, just listen, who's the Fozzie the Bear, with the big old hair of the NFL, right? Well, I'm going with the Gonzo of the NFL, and I'm picking Jalen Hurts.
Really? I could see it. I hope so. I mean, I could see it. I mean, I could see somebody like I'd love to go with Hurts, but I don't know.
I'm telling you, man, I'm not pushing your guys here, but with the division they're in and the 2 cornerbacks they got to lock down, the receivers coming at them, Cooper DeJean and Quentin Mitchell, Philadelphia is going to get really good. The only thing I'm missing is a good center. That's the problem right there. They'll get one. Probably next season they'll get one.
Here's the thing. I wonder if people focused on the center now because it was Kelce. Nobody's really focused on the center position too much until, Jason Kelce pretty much became famous. And that team's always been good, even whoever they had on the line for a while.
Still
So
wanted them to win a couple years ago, not only for you, but because I just don't like Kansas City. I'm sorry, folks. I went on a rant because I just get sick and tired of people getting handed things. I feel like that happens to the Chiefs. I really do.
gotcha.
But now we're bringing in Taylor Swift, having little girls watch football that don't even understand what 1st and 10 means. I mean, but she's dancing up there, mommy.
I think it's good
They're
that.
still good for the game. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I have a niece and I have a nephew. My nephew loves
Mm-hmm.
watching football. My niece will watch football with us, and I also have a bonus daughter, about a little older than my niece. But it's cool to see my niece to watch it because of Taylor Swift, because at least she's watching it and then she's starting to learn who the players are.
I shouldn't have said that. I kind of retract the statement.
I think it helps grow the game, and hey man, the more fans, the better.
Yeah.
Even Amelia's watched a few games with me. My bonus daughter, she doesn't do it a lot, but sometimes she will. And I mean, she's not a Taylor Swift fan by any means, but she knows what's going on as far as why she's there and all that. I mean, if it broadens the fan base and helps the NFL a little bit, I think it's a positive, man. I really do.
Yeah. But the reason I bring that up is it just seems like every time Kansas City seems like they're destructible, they go get something to make themselves more indestructible. And I don't know whether that's in Roger Goodell's eyes or the fans' eyes, or I mean, they are good. You can't take the fact that they're not good, but they're playing in a very weak division. They get home games that are against teams that they're gonna beat. Their Super Bowl titles, like I mentioned, came in years that they shouldn't have won hardly any of them.
But here's the thing,
Mahomes is never, in my opinion, going to be on the level of Brady, Montana, even Peyton Manning until he proves himself to win either more titles or as a person. He acts like he's just like the God's gift to the NFL. He's good, but he also has your guy, Andy Reid.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
It's a big deal. Probably a better coach than Kelsey and Mahomes are players.
But I mean, I'm not defending Kansas City by any means. They're not my favorite team. I'm an Eagles fan, but my response to having a weak division is, and the other teams in that division need to get stronger. I mean, there was a time a time when the Bengals division that not all the teams are strong.
Yeah,
remember when the Bengals were bottom of the heap, and then they've come out of after drafting Joe Burrow and have been a superpower now. Yeah. It's not really Kansas City's fault if their division sucks, because the other teams.
From now on, going forward, when we do our podcast and we're live, I'm going to refrain from my intense opinions, because I don't want to talk about Kansas City anymore this year, because I know at the end of the year they're not going to win the title again this year. Not on my watch. I'll go out and take Travis Kelce out.
Gotcha. But my pick, I'm gonna take a wild card here on my pick for MVP, and actually I'm gonna go with CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud, interesting.
Yeah, because I mean they traded for Joe Mixon, that gives them a decent running back with a really good line. They traded for Stephon Diggs. That gives them 3 really good receivers in Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
And then they re-signed the tight end that they had last year. I can't remember his name. He used to play for the Cowboys.
Dalton Schultz.
And
so you're thinking Houston will win the division then, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure, honestly.
Who do you think could win that division?
I think they'll at least get a wild card, and I think they probably could win their division. They probably will, but I think Indianapolis is just going to get a lot better. They didn't have half their offense.
The only thing that's really hurting, I think, the Colts is maybe their defense.
Yeah, and defense is a little skeptical.
And then also you got to think about it with Richardson. He looks like he's going to be a really good quarterback, but he didn't play. He got hurt and wasn't playing as many games. So this is almost like him having another rookie year.
Another rookie year, yeah.
And he didn't get to play with Taylor last year at all. So that could change things. But I mean,
and that Latua, the one for the defensive end that they got, that guy make it rookie year.
He could.
He's really good.
He could. So speaking of rookies of the year, who do you think is going to be the rookie of the year?
Honestly,
yeah,
if Kyler Murray stays healthy, I cannot see it being anybody but Marvin Harrison Jr.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, because he's going to be the number one receiver.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray is athletic enough to run around and find him, get him open. That guy ain't getting stopped. He's the number one NFL receiver right now. I mean, he's only a rookie. I say Harrison Jr. is my opinion.
You don't think it's going to be one of the quarterbacks that get drafted this year?
Nope. I think they'll do good. I think they're going to do good. I don't think Drake May will do much because I don't think they're going to play him half the year.
No, I'm not expecting much from him. I think.
Yeah, and I think Daniels and Caleb Williams will start, but I just can't see them beating up Marvin Harrison Jr. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, so they do have a tight end in Arizona. Do you think? Well, they also signed Zay Jones, but do you think with Harrison being a rookie and really being the only, besides McBride there, being really the only other offensive weapon there, do you think that's going to cause him to get double teams and maybe stop him a little bit? Really?
It reminds me of a guy last year that you love, and you love this receiver. You always say you love him.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of C.D. Lamb, your favorite player.
I don't like C.D. Lamb. No.
When Harrison double team him, he's still going to catch that ball.
No, I don't like anything.
If I can have the two, I'll tell everyone that's on our football league right now, if I can have them, my first and second round pick, Harrison Jr. and C.D. Lamb, let me have them. I take them.
I think they'll be gone before you pick, but okay.
I know they will, but I'm trying to get them.
My rookie of the year. Oh, man.
Harrison Jr.
Harrison Jr. could be it. I don't know, man. You're going to call me crazy, but I think someone like Ladd McConkey from the Chargers could be it. It's possible.
Oh, that's a great football name, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Ladd McConkey.
I think I just wanted to say it, honestly. But
I think you did.
But I think he could do it. Brock Bowers, he could do it. But honestly, with the National Football League, it's probably going to be a quarterback. And man, I don't know. I could see maybe J.J. McCarthy winning it because he's got the guys up there, and he might surprise a few people, even though they don't think he threw a lot in college. You know, once you get to a different.
If I had to go with my next pick, and I had two to pick from, and the guy Marvin Harrison Jr. was the wrong answer, I would have to say my second pick would definitely be Caleb Williams. But I just don't think I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be special, man.
Oh, I think he is too.
I've already been figuring my draft out in our little football league already.
Okay.
I go for CD. I don't get him. Then I pick Jonathan Taylor. Then I pick Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, okay. Here's the thing, though. If we have anybody from our football league that watches our podcast, which I don't know if they do or not, to be honest about it,
they probably don't.
They're gonna know your strategy. That's not a good idea.
They don't know whether I'm telling the truth or not, too, Brian.
Yeah, they do.
I told you. How do you know that? I told you Jalen Hurts was going to be the MVP. Is I telling the truth there?
Yeah, I think so. It could happen. It could happen,
but not really.
But we'll see. But we're about almost 40 minutes in. Tim, do you have anything else to talk about?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I ran it and raved about the Chiefs. I just hate them.
It's okay, man.
Chiefs out for sale if anybody wants one.
Everybody has their things they don't like, or like the old man on the lawn type thing. Get off my lawn.
Grumpy old man.
Yeah, you're getting older, so that happens. So.
I know, right?
But this is Tim and Brian signing off from the Dirty Cleats podcast. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see you next week.
See y'all later. Bye.